The third chapter of Garten of BANBAN has arrived, and it has brought us new information about this supposed garden. Also, there are many interesting new characters, so join me to create Stinger FLYNN and NABNALEENA with clay. I will be making them in their animated and realistic version, so get comfortable and enjoy this video. Stinger FLYNN is an orange jellyfish that has 6 extendable tentacles, and something that characterizes him is that he only has one eye. This character is very faithful to his animated counterpart, but there are some small differences. For example, he has several veins due to the uranium, and he also has a large brown scar on its eye. Stinger has the ability to change his size to become huge or small, as seen in this third chapter. This new chapter starts right after where the second one ended, and it is when we take the lift to downstairs. We arrive to a room with blue walls, and right in the middle there is a kind of trunk. In that same room we find 2 desks, and in one of them we find a letter that mentions the following: "I always knew I was an unlucky person, but this is a new standard. I leave a puzzling floor for the washroom, and when I return everybody's gone without a trace, which would have been peaceful if it wasn't for the giant bird walking around. I doubt I can keep this quiet much longer. My breaths are getting very heavy. What's the bird doing outside of its containment anyway? I thought they were showing off, only showed the purple creature because we were behind on schedule. This is not how I imagined my ending would be." When we have read the letter, we have to look for the 2 batteries, and then head to the big green door. To open it, we have to press the 2 red buttons at the top, and we do this with the help of the drone. When we enter, we find a large room and several dining tables. The next mission is to find some crayons and deposit them in a container. Then, we find a brown card and a small note that mentions the following: "Dear Mommy, the nice jellyfish is very strong. He carried everyone to here. But Miss Mason hates him, and I don't know why." The next thing to do is to press a button that is on the side of the container. When you do this, a machine will come out of the ceiling that will scan the entire room, this to verify that we have collected all the crayons. Once it verifies that there are none left, the machine will give us a purple card. Now, we have to return to the room at the beginning and go to a kind of conveyor that will take us to other 3 rooms, but first we have to go to the aquatic sector. Once we get to this sector, we have to enter the room with the yellow door. There we will find another letter that mentions the following: "Case 13, as has happened in the beginning with most prior cases, has finally showing signs of body and brain activity, which means actual testing will be possible soon. Dormancy for 2 to 3 weeks has been observed in all prior cases when uranium and genomes are first mixed and placed into a body. Case 13 is an abnormality in this aspect. The body in case 13 has only been in the expected latency state for 1 day, and neuroactivity has already been observed. This is new." A proposed theory is this phenomenon being the direct result of the modifications applied to the uranium solution being used after the testing with case 12G, which would allow for maximum learning speed. Case is not ready for presentation. After having read this letter, now we have to go to a room and break the windows with the help of the drone. To be able to enter, there inside, we will find a brown card. This card will help us to enter the big orange door. This door will take us to Stinger FLYNN. Upon entering, we will find a fairly long stairs that go down. There, we will meet for the first time with the Stinger FLYNN, and this a fairly giant monster, but fortunately is asleep. When we advance a little more, we will find other stairs, and when we go upstairs, there will be a button. When we activate it, a kind of alarm will sound that will wake up Stinger FLYNN. But this creature will not attack us. On the contrary, it seems that he wants to talk to us, but he will tell you something disturbing. He mentions that he cannot allow the player to escape with his son, and he will show us why. So Stinger brings one of his tentacles close to us and teleports us to a kind of vision in which he shows us a beautiful island which he calls home. There we will meet Solfus Stinger, and an orange card. Stinger mentions to us that this place is not real and that he has never felt the sun's rays on his skin, but in order to make that happen, he needs the children and an adult, so that the surviving children are delivered to the surface safe and sound. Stinger just wants to lead the simple life of a jellyfish and give us, or the player, the chance to walk away. If he doesn't, he will lose his life and the chance to see his child. NABNALEENA is a black spider-like creature with 4 limbs attached to the main body on which the face is located. Its face consists of a long open mouth with sharp teeth inside, extending from below the 3 eyes to almost the bottom of the body. Once we leave the vision of Stinger FLYNN and complete the mission of the sheriff, we will return to the aquatic sector, but now the door of NABNAB is open and BANBAN speaks to us through the speakers of the room and gives us the tag to go to the medical sector. When we get to this sector, we have to go to a small room that has open doors. When we enter, we will find NABNALEENA sitting on a stretcher, but apparently she is lifeless. BANBAN again speaks to us through the speakers and mentions that he has the theory that NABNAB is aggressive due to his loneliness, so he gives us the task of injecting Gibanium into NABNALEENA to give her life and make her a companion for NABNAB. So, what we have to do is to mix the right concentration of Gibanium and inject it to NABNALEENA about 6 times. The machine with the drop symbols is where that is done. When the time comes, the screen in the room will light up with the symbol of the concentration needed. For simplicity, the concentration have been represented by colors. We must mix and achieve the correct concentration, then collect it in the syringe and give it to NABNALEENA. The machine with the color pipes will change to the ground colors, and when that happens, we must use the tweezers given to revert them all to their normal green color. The buttons on the wall can also malfunction sometimes. When that happens, we must turn off the ones that are on, this with the help of the drone. The excess Gibanium found in the room will be used up when something malfunctions or when a concentration needs to be delivered. The procedure stops if any of the 4 is completely used up, and what happens next is never good. When this procedure is completed, the whole room will light up green and a small locker will open. In there, we will find a floppy disk that has a voice file on it. Once we take the floppy disk, when we turn around, we realize that NABNALEENA is no longer there. So BANBAN tells us to go back to the aquatic sector and place the disk in the recorder. Once we do this, NABNALEENA will appear walking on the roof and will meet her beloved NABNAB. Finally, NABNAB is no longer miserable. This has been all for the moment. I hope you like Stinger FLYNN and NABNALEENA made of clay. If you want me to make the other monsters of chapter 3, let me know in the comments. Also, I invite you to subscribe and leave your like. With this, you support me a lot. Greetings, take care, and see you in the next video.